What's up everybody, it's that time of year of gift giving, and some of you may be looking for a gift to get that special Nintendo person in your life, or let's be real here, yourselves. In this video I have 35 games to recommend for the Nintendo Switch. Now I do have a disclaimer, I usually don't recommend people to buy games, but rather accessories. Usually for the Switch, things like Pro Controllers or other things, as games are very personal to gamers, and so it can be kind of difficult to pick a game that's just right for them that you know they'll enjoy. So I have tailor-picked here a bunch of safe pick games that if they don't already have and you get them for them, they'll be more than happy. And then I'm also going to have some games later in the video that are more tailored picked for specific types of gamers if they like platformers or RPGs or things like that. The safe picks list is going to be comprised of AAA main title Nintendo games. These are the games that you're always going to see often paired with the Switch or in the big ads that Nintendo puts out, because Nintendo's first-party titles are always really solid. And the first one that's going to be on that list is Super Mario Kart 8. This game is the best-selling game on the Switch, partially because it's often paired with the Switch in like a bundle deal, but also because Mario Kart is such a great game for family and friends and many other people to play, and even though the game is a bit old, it's still tons of fun. My girlfriend recently got her first Switch, and this was the first game that she got, and she's absolutely adored it, even though she's been playing Mario Kart for years. The next couple of games on this list are the ones that you're going to see on every other list to get, because they are the cream of the crop best games on the Nintendo Switch. And that's going to be Breath of the Wild. So this is a big open world RPG Zelda game with lots of exploration, and the game takes anywhere from 20 to 40 hours to complete, but there's hundreds of hours of post-game things to do, and if you don't rush your way through the story and you focus on exploration and doing other things, which trust me, any person who picks up this game will, it can easily fill 200 to 300 hours like I have in the game personally. There's also going to be Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey is the big 3D Mario title that came out on this console, and it's fantastic, it's good. It combines all of my favorite parts of the old Mario games and the new Mario games. There's sections where it switches between 2D and 3D, and it's lots of fun. Super good game. There's also Super Mario All-Stars, which is a combination of the three most popular Super Mario 3D games, which is going to be Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. They come all as one big bundle deal, and so if you have somebody who's into those older Mario games, this is a really great pick for them if they haven't already picked it up. Another super game is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's the best fighter on the Switch right now, right next to some of the other like Street Fighter games, and it's just a great party game. Me and my friends play it all the time. I've sunk 300 plus hours into the game with my friends, and it's just an absolute joy to play. It's a great pick for kids and families and friends. Now, there has been a large list of Pokemon games added to the Nintendo Switch. The best ones I can recommend you are Pokemon Sword and Shield. They are the newest games in the series, and they are specifically designed for the Nintendo Switch. There's tons of multiplayer functionality for them to play with their friends. There's new Pokemon, new things that old Nintendo fans haven't seen. Now, that being said, if they are an older Nintendo fan and maybe they already have Sword and Shield, then I would suggest picking up Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. There's been lots of quality of life improvements made in these Pokemon games, and these were actually my first Pokemon games as a 10-year-old way back in the day, and so being able to play this game again as an adult is so much fun. I just can't do anything other than recommend it. It's fabulous. One of the other best-selling games on the Switch that took the Nintendo Switch off shelves, like the Nintendo Switch completely sold off of shelves for months, is Animal Crossing. Now, I'm personally not an Animal Crossing guy. I never got sucked into the game like many of my friends did. However, the game's fantastic if you're into those types of games. Very popular game, sold out, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, which I gotta be careful using that word on YouTube. The game just sold really well, took Switches off the shelves. The next game on this list is a game that got reduced in price, which is Mario Kart Home Circuit. This is a perfect pick for younger audiences. And so this is a Mario Kart game, but it's like in real life. You get to build the tracks like through your house, and it's got a little car with a camera, and you can like drive through your house or like race around your dog, and there's all these cool little things with it. And so it's a great pick for kids, especially if they already have Mario Kart and really love the game. It's a way to make fun, and they can do other things with it, like having their own like at-home racetrack. Now, there's something that many people need to be very careful about if they plan on getting a Mario Party on the Switch for that special someone this holiday season. There are 2 Mario Parties on the Switch. One of them is fantastic, the other one is terrible. So I'm going to tell you which 2 those are. Where is it on my list? I lost it. Super Mario Party. This is the first Mario Party that came on the Switch. Is bad. Avoid it. Don't get it. Instead, I recommend that you get Mario Party Superstars. Mario Party Superstars is a collage of the best Mario Party games ever made and put together. And then it has some also new games to the Switch added along with it. And it's multiplayer, so people can play online with their friends and family who may live far away and still enjoy the game. It's much better than the first one. Don't do it. Just get Superstars, it'll be way better. Also, another Super Mario pick in the AAA title list is Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. So Super Mario 3D World was a Super Mario game that came out on the Wii U that a lot of people have probably already played if they had a Wii U. However, if you didn't have a Wii U, it's a great Super Mario game. And this one comes with a new title that's never been seen before, Bowser's Fury, which is kind of like an open world Mario game where you get to chase after Bowser, like a giant Godzilla-sized Bowser, and do a bunch of things. It's a fun game. Now this section of the list is my favorite section of the list, as my entire channel is centered around it, and that's RPGs. And to start this list off, we're going to start with Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So this is a remake on the Nintendo Switch. It can usually be found for like $40 as it was originally a Game Boy game. And so if you have an old school Zelda fan in your house, this is going to be really great. There's also another Zelda game on this list, which is Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So this is another one of those older Legend of Zelda games that's just going to be a really good pick for somebody who's into the older games and may have played them in the past, and even for someone who hasn't played these older games and is just really into Zelda, this is a great pick. Now, here comes the Xenoblade portion of the video. Now, Xenoblade DE and Xenoblade 2 are hands down some of the best games on the Nintendo Switch. They're long-form RPGs with amazing stories and fantastic gameplay, and I cannot recommend them enough. My entire channel has tons of videos on them if you want to check them out and what those games are about. They're so much fun. The story's great. They're kid-friendly. There's lots of great game mechanics that'll keep any game nerd busy for hundreds of hours like it has myself. Cannot recommend them enough. There's also Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. When this game initially came out, I wasn't too hyped about it. I wasn't a big fan of the Hyrule Warriors games, but this one, it's good. It's very good. It's a ton of fun, although I do suggest before playing Hyrule Warriors that you play Breath of the Wild. And so if you're thinking of getting Hyrule Warriors for somebody, make sure they have Breath of the Wild or played through it, or get them Breath of the Wild first. As the two games are connected story-wise, Hyrule Warriors, they're connected in a story way I don't want to explain too much for spoiler reasons. So if you do get them Hyrule Warriors, just make sure they have Breath of the Wild and they played it. Otherwise, it's just going to have some spoilers in the game and ruin what the beauty of Breath of the Wild is. Now, another personal favorite of mine is Monster Hunter Rise. I play this one on stream with my friends all the time, and I play it online with my friends. It's a monster beat-em-up kind of game where you get to grind out for different swords and weapons and giant hammers and beat monsters. What person doesn't love going and beating monsters in a video game? It's flawless. Monster Hunter Rise is so much fun. So much fun. The game can be really difficult at times too if you fight some of the higher level monsters, and so it's going to keep just about anybody real occupied for a while. There's also another Monster Hunter game that would be better for younger audiences, which is Monster Hunter Stories, which essentially is like a Pokemon version of Monster Hunter. So it's Monster Hunter, but you can like ride and interact with the monsters instead of killing the monsters. So that's the kind of game you want to get for a younger person. It's a good pick. I also want to put an honorable mention in here of Stardew Valley. I didn't play Stardew Valley, but I know there's a ton of people who really love the game. It's a farming simulator that's just super popular on the Switch. I never really got into it, but I'm going to leave it on this list because there's so many people who absolutely love the game. There's also Bravely Default 2 and Trails of Cold Steel 3. These are much longer, much more difficult RPGs than the one that I listed before. Still very popular, very good games, but something that's more geared towards a older audience. And if you're somebody who's looking at this game, you know what kind of person you're buying for. They're probably one of the people who's looking at Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is a very recent game put out on the Switch that's an RPG, and that game is dead hard. It is very difficult to get through. So if you're getting that for somebody, make sure that they're a hardcore JRPG fan or they may not enjoy their time with it. Now we move on to another personal favorite of mine, platformers. So the platformers that I have listed here are Metroid Dread, Super Mario Maker 2, Celeste, and Hollow Knight. Metroid Dread came out this year, and I'm a huge Metroid fan, so I have been waiting for a Metroid game for so long, and they finally released it, and Metroid Dread is perfect in every way. It's so much fun, and it's got a perfect balance of being difficult while also playable at the same time. Nintendo the past couple of years has had a rap of making some of their games too easy, so if you want somebody who's going to have to take a little bit more time to get through their game and really likes platformers, or they're just a Metroid fan, Metroid Dread's a perfect pick. Super Mario Maker 2, if they're really into 2D Mario games, this is basically the only option on the Switch. There's other 2D Mario kind of stuff, but most of the games on the Switch for Mario are 3D, and this is the best 2D title. Celeste is actually an indie game. It's not a main title for Nintendo, but it is so much fun. It's got a really cute story, the mechanics are fun, the game is difficult, and it counts your deaths, which is really amusing because you can see how many times you died on certain levels or different parts of the game. But it's a really fun platformer. The game's not too long and it's pretty cheap. I want to say, let me look, $20, not $10, sorry. So a little more expensive, but the game goes on sale all the time. I think I got it on sale for $10. Another great game on the Switch that's also a platformer is Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's got a bit more of a dark theme to it, but it's a lot of fun. It's a super fast-paced game. Very fast-paced, very entertaining and fun. Hollow Knight is actually probably my favorite platformer on the Switch, right next to Metroid Dread. It's just got so much gameplay, lots of exploration. You can kind of take the game in any order you want for the most part. There's still kind of a guided route you should take, but you can mess around with things and kind of take a more open world approach. And so if you're buying for somebody who's more into those kind of open world game, a good recommendation for them. Now, I've gotten to this section of this video I've labeled honorable mentions just because each one of these games kind of has their own category, but I'm not gonna list 20 categories for so many different games. And so these are just good games that are on the Switch that I'd recommend for people. The first one on this list is Luigi's Mansion. This is technically a AAA title on the Switch, but not what I'd call a safe pick, because Luigi's Mansion is kind of a particular kind of person. The game's more geared at younger kids. Luigi goes around with a magic vacuum and sucks up ghosts in a giant hotel to try to save Mario and his friends from the bad ghost in the game. And I played the original Luigi's Mansion back on the GameCube when I was a kid, so I got really excited when I saw this game on the Switch, and it's so much fun. So much fun. Really enjoyable game. Another one on this list is Splatoon 2. If you're someone who really likes like multiplayer shooters, this is a great game. It is third person, and there is a Splatoon 3 coming out soon, so you may want to hold out on this one and look into that. But still very popular, very fun game. Another one, if you have somebody who's a Minecraft fan, they can now play Minecraft on the go. And I understand that there is the Minecraft version on the cell phone that you can play. The one on the Switch is way better. It's a bigger screen, better controls, you can play Bedrock with your friends, and it's a good experience of Minecraft. I've bought Minecraft now like 5 times. I have on the Switch, the PC, the Xbox, my Mac, everything. Minecraft is an age-old game that will never fail. It's always a safe pick to buy for somebody. Unless they already have it, then maybe not. Now, if you've got a PC gamer in the family who also has a Switch, I'd recommend Skyrim on the Switch. Any Skyrim lover will take any excuse to play another Skyrim game, like a second, third, fourth, fifth time. And on the Switch, it's just as much fun. Now, you can't mod it, unfortunately, because most people, once they get into their 4th, 5th playthrough of Skyrim, start modding the game. You can't mod it on the Switch, but it's still a lot of fun just to play it mobily, and the game runs perfectly well because it's a little older. A very popular game on the Switch is Hades. Now, Hades is a fast-paced hack-and-slash game, and I'll just show it on screen. You get the point. It's a fun game. There's just so much going on. It's so action-packed. Another game I recommend that is technically in the AAA title of Nintendo's games, but I didn't put at the top of the list, is Pokemon Snap. This game came out this year, and it's just a really cutesy game. You get to go around exploring and taking pictures of Pokemon. It's really geared for younger audiences. However, if you're somebody who's a little older who played the original Pokemon Snap on the N64, this may be a game of interest to you. Now, if you're somebody who wants to get a little more active, or you want somebody to get a little more active, and get off the couch while they're gaming, I'd recommend Ring Fit Adventure. So Ring Fit Adventure is kind of similar to the Wii board that they had back in the day that you could like stand on and kind of like step off side to side and do some things with. But this is much more of an actual game. There's a little bit of a story to it. In Ring Fit Adventure, essentially you attach the Joy-Con to this wheel and like a thigh strap, and it makes you do like lots of running, squatting, jogging, hand motions like this to like defeat enemies. And the game's a lot of fun, it's really popular, and it is a very good workout. If you don't want to talk about sweaty gamers, I mean, that's really what that game is. Another awesome game on the Switch is Astral Chain. It's a little bit older, so some people who've had their Switches for a while may have this game already, but it's a super good RPG. Another one is Octopath Traveler. This is kind of in that Fire Emblem realm of games. And speaking of Fire Emblem Three Houses on the Switch is one of the best games I played on the Switch. When it came out, I wasn't super hyped about it, but my friends were like, dude, you gotta play it, you gotta play it, you gotta play it. I played it, absolutely loved it. The game's a perfect Fire Emblem RPG, and it has tons of replayability, so if you want to get something for someone where they're going to get lots of hours out of it, there are 4 different endings in this game, so they could play it 4 different times and have a completely different experience out of it. There is also a smaller game on the Switch, albeit super fun for Zelda fans, and that's Cadence of Hyrule. So this is a game, especially for music lovers, where you have to move the character through the game to the beat through this kind of square grid map and defeat enemies. And it was originally another, I believe they called it Crypt of the Necrodancer, was the original game. Nintendo reached out to this indie company and said, hey, we really love this game. We're gonna trust you to add Zelda into it. And so Cadence of Hyrule is a super fun Zelda, like beat-based kind of game. There's also Yoshi's Crafted World, so if you're got a younger gamer in the house you're looking to buy for, this is a really cute, fun game. If you're someone a little older, Doom is on the Switch, and you can play Doom on the Switch. I actually played Doom on my flight from the US to Japan and back on the airplane, which is super cool to be able to play Doom like mobily, and it runs really well on the Switch, surprisingly. The Switch like doesn't catch on fire playing the game. And so if you got somebody who's a little older and into those just like shooter hack and slash, fast-paced kind of games, Doom is a great pick. And then the last game on this list is Rocket League. This is a multiplayer car soccer game that's been really popular in esports the past couple of years. It's really fun with friends. And so if you have somebody who's a very social gamer in the house who likes to play online with lots of friends, this is a really great pick. I know this video seemed kind of repetitive, as I often said these games are so good, they're such good picks, but that's because every single game on this list is a great game at the end of the day, and it's going to be a good pick for anybody who doesn't already own them, which is part of why at the beginning of the video I made a disclaimer of the danger of buying video games, is because if they also already own it, well, then you already got them the game. So make sure to put the return receipt somewhere in there. That way, if you do get them a game that they already have, they can go out and get a game that they don't have or maybe want. Or you could be really safe and just get them like a gift card to Amazon or GameStop or wherever they want to buy games from, and then they can go pick out a game on their own. Also, put down in the comments below if you think I forgot a game that you think people should be picking up this Christmas. Thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I have a new setup that I'm working with today, so let me know how the audio and the video and everything looks. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.